So what I've done at this point is I've split the screen and I have ChatGPT with the outline, the complete comprehensive outline. You'll see here, if I scroll up, I went through the process, and here I actually had to have it redo the outline one more time. But what I did is I took the outline from Koala Writer that I used when I used the Koala Writer rewrite a blog post function, but I wanted to make sure that I was going into as much depth as possible, or the point of rewriting this blog post was to go into depth. So even with AI, you need to look at the outline it gives you. You need to look, or you even need to back up first, and you need to do some keyword research. You need to understand the searcher intent. You need to understand what and why you're writing the blog post, or why you're writing the blog post, the answer, the question you're trying to answer, or questions you're trying to answer, and then what is the purpose? What is the searcher intent? When someone is searching for this information and they find it, or even if you're thinking beyond just having it found in search, but say you make a post on social media and you want people to come to this blog post and you want them to get all this information as well as educate them on the next step to take, so then they can learn more about it. And then of course, if there is, or if you're doing it correctly and building out a content funnel, you're taking them through a journey to ultimately click a link and buy something on your site. So either as an affiliate, or if you're selling your own products, you're taking them through this content funnel or the stages of awareness when you create this content. And it goes back to where we are right now, rewriting this blog post with ChatGPT combining the elements inside of ChatGPT as well as the one-click process of Koala Writer to rewrite a blog post. So let's back up another step further before we compare these, because what I want to do is I want to take what's in ChatGPT, I want to compare it to what's in Koala Writer, I want to add the elements that I've added inside of ChatGPT. Specifically, if you get down here and you look at past the frequently asked questions, debunking moon myths, the scientific angle, that part is not in here. So the scientific angle, the information add or the information gain that we're trying to create, and then as well, supplementary information where we want to go a step above and beyond and have the AI create the content or start the process of creating the content. But again, we found all this information by doing keyword research. Of course, if you want to see those videos, there's a link in the description. I'll also add a card. But the point is, you're doing keyword research, you've written an article. So let me back up to that point right now and show you the article that we're going to rewrite, and then show you the process inside of Koala. Because right now what we're looking at is a combination of using ChatGPT, which is OpenAI, and then Koala, which is OpenAI on the back end. It's just Koala has these one-click functions that make this rewriting process a lot simpler. So if we back all the way up, Universe Unriddled, that's the AI blog that I'm creating here on the channel. That's the case study. You can see this is the post, Moon Phase Mythology and Folklore, Unraveling Lunar Legends. And this was written by Koala, and I like it. It ranks, it gets clicks, it's indexed. There are some issues with the formatting. Of course, this was moved over from Grooveblog over to WordPress, so a lot of that still is left over from the stuff that I had in Grooveblog. Also, you can see I have here for further reading some books to purchase on Amazon. I think I'm going to take this information and break it out to a separate page, because I'm going to be looking at all my blog posts and looking to see if it makes sense to put links on the page, an informational page like this, or have an additional page where I can have them click over for further reading, and I can list books like this, and maybe dive into some book reviews as well for these 3 books, and maybe create that as a page. But that's the point of having Koala rewrite this, is looking at it and saying, it's not bad. You know, these links are kind of lame. Learn more about Artemis, learn more about Selene. So what I'm doing is I'm having Koala rewrite it, and of course, using the new functions inside of Koala Writer. All I have to do is open up Koala Writer, of course, select my project. Here again, I'm using GPT-4 Turbo. A lot of this stuff was written with GPT 3.5 when I first started, whether I was using ChatGPT to write it or using Koala. And here you can see you can select your article type. What I'm doing is selecting Rewrite Blog Post. And I simply just put in the article URL here. Then they have this Enable Rewriting. You can see this, if it's enabled, will make sure the AI rewrites all of the source data. This is if you're rewriting someone else's article. I mean, that's up to you or not. I turn that off because I use the rewrite blog post to just write or to just rewrite the blog post that I've written. So I turn that off, the enable rewriting, because it's my original content or the content that I've already created with Koala Writer or ChatGPT. The target keywords, I'm going to go ahead and do AI powered. I'm going to use the automatic linking here, so it will figure out the automatic, or will figure out using the sitemap that I've loaded inside of Koala what other articles to link to. Then I'll leave all this other stuff, and I usually just always select all of these. And you can check those out when you get your Koala account, or if you have a Koala account, there's a link in the description. You can check out Koala, and you can see it includes key takeaways, fact section, the outline editor, which is what we're doing right now, is we're editing the outline. So here you can actually see the outline, you can reorder, you can delete, and you can add new sections. And that's what we're doing after we did our keyword research, after we thought about how can we improve this post with some information gain, as well as just looking and making sure that we are answering the questions or the searcher intent. Or again, like I said, if we're driving traffic over from social media, that we're giving them everything that they want to see and leading them to where we want to lead them. And I don't mean that in a way of you're trying to get them to buy something. Ultimately, you just want to answer their question, entertain them, give them information, be the site that they want to come back to find out information like what you're talking about, whatever your niche or your topic is. So at that point, we're just going to go back to ChatGPT. Now you can see exactly what I'm doing here. I'm using the Koala function to rewrite, but I've also used ChatGPT to enhance or build a comprehensive blog post based off of keyword research. You know, people also ask, check out that video I linked in the description where I did keyword research with free tools, keyword planner, as well as Socrates answers to get all the questions that people are looking for. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here, and we have the introduction. I'm going to leave that. The moon in ancient mythology. What you can see here is we have the moon in world mythology, and then the moon in ancient mythology, they put as an H3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this H1, the moon in world mythology. And to do that, I simply just come down here and add a section. And then I'm going to add that section right here, the moon in world mythology. And then you could add extra section prompts and keywords, but the keyword is the section name, or the section name will be the keyword, and that's fine. So we'll go ahead and hit save. Then we just need to drag this up. I have to do this because I don't have enough screen real estate when I'm recording, but if you're just looking on your screen when you're doing this yourself, what we'll do is we'll add the moon in world mythology, and it's going to be an H2. And then it says here, what are moon myths and legends? We'll go ahead and we will create that as an H2 as well. And here, the moon in ancient mythology has become an H2. So we have H2, H2. I'm going to make these I'm going to make H3s, these subcategories or these sub headlines inside of the blog post inside of ChatGPT 4. Sometimes it's a little hard to talk while you're trying to maneuver in creating a piece of content, but I wanted to be able to show you guys this. So here we are, and I'm going to add what are moon myths and legends. And I got to scroll back down, add this new section. We'll pop that in right there. Here, I could just go ahead. I don't need to really add an H3, or I think I will add an H3, but it could also be an extra section prompt, or it could be a keyword entities or some background information. Just, you're going to have to play with this sometimes as well. And then, of course, once the article is finished, you can always edit it inside of WordPress. So we'll go ahead and just save that for now, and we'll just get this outlined so we can sort of speed this process up here and say the moon in world mythology. What are moon myths and legends? So probably, or maybe I could actually turn this, get rid of the introduction and change this. But we'll leave the introduction. We'll add the moon in world mythology. What are moon myths and legends? And what I was going to do is I was going to look at this and see if this makes sense as an H3. And we'll add that section in right there. And then what we'll do is we'll drag this up. And it doesn't scroll for me, so I have to manually scroll it. And what I'm going to do here is definitions and examples from diverse cultures. That's going to become an H3. So you can really see what I'm doing here. It's just a little bit of drag and drop. A lot of times people get caught up in using these tools and they think, well, mission done. I pushed the button. It wrote the blog post. I posted it, or I even integrated the WordPress, the WordPress functionality where you can sync this up and it'll automatically just upload it to WordPress. That is programmatic SEO, and if you want to do it that way, that's fine, but I don't. I manually intervene with the outline, or I manually review the outline, I read the article, I manually do a copy and paste. It's just the way that I do it is my process of actually doing the edits. So you can see here, I'm going to go through this process. I'm going to create that outline, and then when I do that, I'm going to come back and show you everything and how it's lined up. All right, so what we have now is we have our introduction. We have the moon in world mythology. As you can see here, that was part 1. I guess you could actually just start with what are moon myths and legends. You don't actually need the moon and world mythology here below the introduction. That technically could be the introduction, but I'm going to leave it in there just to see how it works out. And then what I did is I took a few of these and I made these H3s where I thought they made sense. And then sometimes down here, as you can see, I've lined this out with the moon and ancient mythology, moon phase superstition and rituals, the symbolism of crescent moons, lunar deities. Here it was lunar deities, and then it had one bullet here for profiles, and each profile is an H3. Myths versus legends, the significance of myths versus legends. I made some H3s there. When I got down here around moon myths and legends, or debunking, where was it at? Moon myths and legends, debunking moon myths, or here we go. Past the frequently asked questions, debunking moon myths. When I got here, I just kept these as H3s and just used this as topics and additional information inside of Koala. So then I have the scientific angle. Then I have a summary. I don't use the word conclusion. I use summary. Call to action. That'll be in the summary. Glossary of terms. I did put that in as a H2 subsection after the summary. Now, expert insights and cultural case studies, I'm going to add those in and sprinkle them in. So, for example, expert insights. What I want to do is I want to create expert insights for the scientific angle. So we'll go ahead and add a section, expert insights, and then I will add interviews here, and I will add that into keyword entities and topics. And then I will put that under the scientific angle, as well as I will create another one with the same concept to see how well Koala figures this out, expert insights. But then I will put that under debunking moon myths, because I want expert opinions or insights from people that are debunking moon myths as well as the scientific angle, and we'll see how that works out. Cultural case studies, I think I'm going to add this in one place just to see how it works out. So you go up, reviving and reinterpreting moon myths, the influence of moon myths on culture, moon myths and modern astronomy, culture interpretations versus scientific perspectives. I think I could either add this as an H2 right here, or I could add it as an H3. Actually, I think I'm just going to add it as an H2 and see how it turns out. Cultural case studies, and then we'll take that and we'll add that into keywords and topics. And then we'll move this up here, up above frequently asked questions, and we'll add that as an H2. So what I have here is moon myths and modern astronomy, or cultural interpretations versus scientific perspectives, and then H3 here, H2, 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 H2. Cultural case studies, I could probably drop this as an H3, like right here, but I'm going to go ahead and put it as an H2 and see if it makes sense. Again, I'm doing this on the fly. I'll have to read it, and then, of course, when it creates the content, I can then edit it and will edit it and move it around. But now you can see what I've done here is inside of Koala, I have taken what Koala gave me, and I've taken the research, and let me just scroll up here and just show you. Check out the other video, but what happened is I had all these questions and answers from a free keyword research tool that I did in the video, or I showed the process in the video. I showed the creating the SEO optimized blog post from all those questions, and then I did some information gain, or I asked the question to ChatGPT, what information gain can be added to make this better? And it gave me some ideas here for each part of the outline that it created. And then I also did some LSI keywords to get to the point where I was going to rewrite this inside of Koala. Actually, when I rewrote it, or if you're going to write it, I think I was saying I will go ahead and use these. but I went ahead and rewrote it. And what I did is I took the image, I did a screenshot of the outline inside of Koala because I couldn't do a copy and paste here of the outline to bring in the text. So I just took it and I just said, combine the outline in the image with these outlines for one comprehensive outline to write a blog post. And then you can see down here that I actually had to say, sorry, not detailed enough. And then it actually gave me the full outline that we took just now. And then I put into Koala. So that's the full story. That's how we got where we are, using Koala Writer to rewrite the blog post, or using AI to rewrite this blog post that I've already written, that I'm trying to improve with information gain, extra keyword research, making sure that I'm putting everything in an order that makes sense, that solves the searcher intent, or if I send people over from social media, they're going to get the most out of this idea, or they're going to get the most out of the article that I can create or have AI create on this topic of exploring moon myths and legends, because that is the goal, to take them through all the moon myths and the legends and look back at the phases of the moon and how that impacted the superstitions and rituals that were in the past and ancient mythology, even some of the stuff that people may believe today, as well as some expert insight and some cultural case studies. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to select write article. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this back into full screen. I'm going to select article, or click write article. Moon phase mythology and folklore, unveiling ancient lunar legends. This is the rewrite. Koala is going to kick off. It's going to do its thing. It's going to write the blog post, and then I'm going to show you what it created. Then, of course, I'll take that and I'll load it over into WordPress and upload the images and do all the things that need to be done to edit it and make sure it makes sense, make sure it reads well, make sure it solves that searcher intent, or it's just a good piece of content, getting away from the idea or the aspect of thinking about Google and search and SEO and all that. Just make sure that when people land on this article, they're going to have a good experience with the content that's been created by AI, or in this case, the content that is being rewritten by AI from the original piece of content that was actually written by AI. A little bit meta, but you get the idea. And if you have any questions at this point, let me know in the comments, or if you're using AI to rewrite your content, or if you're using AI to help you come up with ideas or thoughts or do research, let me know in the comments what you're doing, what's going on, as well as what you just generally think about using AI to do this kind of work for creating blog posts or content in general, really. And then once Koala finishes writing, you have your new rewritten article. You can scroll through and you can just instantly see like the information gains or just the additional elements that have been added, these tables. And of course, it also has the interlinks now, or the internal links. But the tables here, they're nicer, they're better formatted. You can see it, created these bulleted lists, and it bolded things where things probably should be bolded. But, the idea here is you have to go through and read these and verify and make sure everything makes sense. And of course, you can see just the depth of the article, me scrolling through here. Scientific perspectives on the moon, comparison of the perspectives, another nice table there. And then you scroll down, let's see, another table, reviving and reinterpreting moon myths. Here's the cultural case studies where it dives into some countries and cultural influences. Inside of that, some frequently asked questions as well there. Scroll down. Let's see, what else did it do? The scientific angle. It kind of messed up here, so we'll have to fill that in. Then it has a summary, and then it added a glossary of terms. One thing you can do, and then I'll go ahead and show you real quick inside of Koala, they have this new polish feature. Split up paragraphs into 1 to 3 sentences, remove mid-article conclusions, because you see a lot of times inside of subsections in the middle of the article, it'll say in summary or in conclusion. And reduce repetition, it'll look at it holistically as one big article, because just like when you're in ChatGPT and you're writing subsections yourself, Koala is really just going and writing subsections and then just compiling it all for you, utilizing the OpenAI API on the back end of this application. So it'll look at it as one big long article, and it'll try to reduce the repetition, simplify complex sentences, and you can see those are still in beta. I never use the convert passive voice to active voice. I typically like the way it writes. So we'll go ahead and we'll start that polish. And then you can see at that point what it's going to do is it's going to do what it said it's going to do. it's going to rewrite the rewrite, and it's going to do those things in the background. And then you can take a look and see where it got rid of, the end summary and all that kind of stuff. And it just reads better, it flows better. Typically, I really have enjoyed the polish feature. If you've used it, let me know what you think about it in the comments as well. Which AI you're using. Are you still using ChatGPT, OpenAI? Are you using Gemini or Copilot or whatever the new names, Perplexity, all the stuff that's out there right now? There's tons of these writers like Koala Writer, as well as on the back end, you have the ability to use the different, LLMs, the large language models, and those databases, and the functionality of all the AI that's out there. Let me know what you're using. Let me know if you're using it to rewrite, or if you're using it just to write, or you're using it to do research. Whatever you're doing with it, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.